So good morning, everyone, and it is my great delight to see all of you here. Me, and these folks out here are in the sanctuary at the Center for Spiritual Living in Ukiah, California, which we are now doing a hybrid. We're doing both live in the building, and we are still Zooming to other participants. And today, actually from around the country, because our guest speaker is actually calling in from Rhode Island. Yay! So we're very excited about that. And I just know, I'm just so really thrilled you're here. And I want to welcome you with all my heart and with the depth of my being, because it really wouldn't work at all if you weren't here. But what I also know is that somewhere in today, whether it's in the message or the music, which I think Gina's also going to take care of that, the message, the music, the treatment, that what you are here to receive, it is coming for you right now. And I'm very excited about that. So to begin off our moment, let's do that with treatment. So Harvey Baumel will be doing our opening treatment. So Harvey, take it away.
Unmuted myself. Good morning, all, and I'm glad to be here. It's good to see you all, and those in the sanctuary. Good to see you, because I can only see the people on the screen here. So today's treatment is compliments of the Center for Spiritual Living, and it is on creativity. So if you will close your eyes, take a deep breath, come in here into the service, and know that God is the all-inclusiveness of life. This powerful presence is personal because I recognize it operating through me. In oneness, I co-create by consciously and constructively thinking thoughts that correspond to my desired outcome. Every thought is creative and originates in the mind of God. This infinite source and power, instilled in all beings, makes all things possible. I remain open at the top and receive a multitude of possibilities in thought. I use the creative process consciously by planting ideas in mind where mental law acts upon thought and creates corresponding form. I use this creative process in all areas of life, including relationships, problem solving, playfulness, and simply being present in the moment. I release doubtful thoughts and patterns of disbelief from my mind and turn towards the power of truth. I am not limited by what has preceded this moment and am grateful I am consciously arrived in this place of creating something new. I feel the energy of spirit coursing through me as I remain expressive and receptive of greater good. I believe expansion is a divine idea emerging here and now. As I accept and use this power within me, I am grateful for its infectious nature. As I receive, I am giving gifts of spirit through my recognition that God as goodness is all there is. With a grateful heart, I release this into the universal mind, knowing all beings can soar with this freedom. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. I'm trying really hard to figure out how to make our sound, so I'm sorry if that was distracting for anyone. Trying to get our sound. And it looks like it might be right here, but I don't know how to. Mary, do you have any?
Can the Zoom people hear him fine?
Are you hearing okay, you guys? They seem to be hearing okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the sound should be coming out over here, and it's not. It's coming out of my computer. So we're just having some challenges still here. But
Is there a volume on the computer?
Mary, if there were, I would have done something. I promise. I'm really having a challenge here. Oh, here's something. Let's try this. Okay. How's that? I don't think that's working any better. Okay. Anyway, we're moving on. So now would be the time for our our song. And so Gina, did you say you had?
I do.
Did you?
I do.
Okay. Well, do you want to play that for us?
Not gonna cave into this pain in my heart. Not gonna listen to lies of self-hatred. Not gonna cry over yesterday's loss. Slip into darkness and wallow in pain. I've been there and done that, and I will not again. Instead, I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. You see me sitting with a smile on my face, counting all of the blessings I'm given, learning to love me the way that He does. I'll open my heart and let it all in. I know it gets better with each moment I'm in. I win. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up with spirit.
Woo! For those of you who don't know, thank you, Gina. That was Melissa Felipe. She is a minister. She has a focus minister with her wife Z. They're from the Santa Rosa Center, and they just do the best uplifting music. I think Melissa, but it's been years and years ago, came up and sang for us once. But they're fabulous, and so thank you, Gina, for bringing her into and rise up with Melissa and rise up with Gina. And so most of you, because we've been chatting, know this is Gina Krupta, close enough. And Gina is a senior at at our seminary, the Holmes Institute. And so this is her second time speaking for us. She did once earlier, back in April, I think. And we just love her. I just love her. And so I'm really thrilled that she's back and able to share with us. So we might do a couple of little other tech checks as you start speaking. But Gina, you are on.
Thank you so much. It is a gift to be here with all of you. What a blessing to be back, and thank you for inviting me back. It is wonderful to be, it's a wonderful expression of divine to me, to be in two places at once, to be able to be with you in California and to be here in Rhode Island. And I actually was able to give the message this morning in Boston. So I've been in 3 states and different centers, and that's what spirit is. And it's a gift to remember that anything is possible. And of course, there's some times that it doesn't feel that way. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it always felt wonderful? But unfortunately, that is not necessarily the case. And it's important to remember that we have a choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some information today. And as we go through it, I just invite you to receive what it is that you can, okay? And knowing that spirit is in this place. And that isn't in my home in Rhode Island or yours in California. That is exactly where you are. Spirit is who and whose you are. So in July for Centers for Spiritual Living, our theme is being pulled by vision. And, that's one of those things that, Michael Beckwith says, pain pushes until your vision pulls you. And it really is, the universe is always expanding. And if we are not in alignment with that, it causes stagnation and pain. So it's about getting to that place of allowing spirit to lift us and pull us. And how do we do that? Because as good as that sounds, how do we get to that place that we are doing that consciously? So today's topic is free your mind and the rest will follow. Which I think, I often, when I hear that, I often automatically think of the song from, I think it was the 80s or early 90s. And we get to choose what we think about. Life is all about our choices and what we are creating. And we have a place of, in the beginning, before we know about these teachings, many of us came from a place of it happening to us. It was life happened to us. It wasn't about choice, and it was somebody else's fault. And now, as time goes on, we get to realize that it's not about outside of us. We know that the universe, spirit is for me. And if spirit is for me, who could be against me? How can that even matter? So in that knowing, eventually, as we go on with our teachings, we realize that spirit happens through me. It's not outside of me that things are happening. It is happening right here where I am. And as we continue on, if and when we continue on, we realize that spirit happens as me, that I am the place where God shows up. So it's getting into that place of alignment. Years ago, I used to think that I went to a different faith and I would go to church, and I would go because I was supposed to. And now I do it and I realize it's because I get to. I choose to. It's not a have to. See, I don't have a spirit that, my power that is greater than me lives and breathes within me. I don't have to go somewhere for that. And when I personally, growing up, would always go, I went to say thank you. I didn't go because I believed I had to, as much as I believed that I would go and say thank you. Well, now I know that even that gratitude isn't for spirit. Spirit has no ego. It doesn't need to be, placated to. It's for me to come into alignment, because when I am in gratitude, I am in joy, and I am attracting more to be in joy for. So we have this place of knowing, and are we choosing to be in that is the question. And how do we do that? And what does that look like? So I have some quotes that I wanted to share. And it's funny because I had opened it. Here it is. Bear with me. I'm trying to get the quote ready for you. And not sure it's going to work, but we'll do the best we can. So the first quote that I have to share with you is, trying to change conditions without changing my consciousness is like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without changing the object causing the reflection. So am I trying to see something different, yet nothing has worked, yet I'm not done anything about that? So what that means is, in order for things to change, I get to be the change that I wish to see. But how do I do that? What does that look like? And everybody that's different. But we have to control our thoughts in order to create what we see. We've heard a million times in this teaching that thoughts are things, and change your thinking, change your life. But how do you do that practically in a place where you're not necessarily feeling that? What happens when life isn't looking like I want it to? How do I get to that place of knowing that all is well when I'm not feeling that all is well? Well, for us, we have spiritual tools, and those tools show up. They show up through meditation, visioning, gratitude, affirmations, sacred study, and treatment. These are the tools that we're given to basically change our attitudes so we can think differently, therefore be different. Because if nothing changes in me, nothing changes. It's not just the words that I say or even the things that I do. It's what am I really thinking at that moment? How am I being? What does it look like? How am I expressing life today? So being in meditation can take us into that place that we are in that oneness with spirit. Visioning is wonderful, but do we go to that when we're feeling confused or any anxiety about life? Gratitude is wonderful as a practice, of course, and writing these things down every day of what we're grateful for and coming into that place. But do we do it often enough that it's muscle memory to go there first? Affirmations. There's a tool there that we can start our day with or go to anytime I forget who and whose I am. See, the thing about an affirmation is it's declaring it and knowing it, even when I may not be feeling it. And eventually we get to that point that we are it and we know that. Sacred study is that opening up so that we're knowing more about this practice in amazing ways. And the more we feed our soul that way, the more we're living through the soul than the ego. But the one I'm going to spend most time with today is treatment. And that's that place and that practice that we have that puts us into alignment in that moment. So in Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes said the recognition of the presence of God or good automatically wipes out any picture of undesirable conditions. The Spirit of God is a law of elimination and obliteration to everything unlike itself. So what does that mean? So when I am in spirit and I am paying attention to spirit, what does that mean? I get the opportunity to be in this place of letting go of the old and creating the new. So I'm putting my power in this moment into this practice of declaring a truth. Now, whether you call it treatment or affirmative prayer, I love affirmative prayer because to me, affirmative prayer says what it is. It's not, again, it's not because something outside of me needs me to ask approval. It's a remembering and affirming of what I already know is the truth. It's taking away the seeming condition so that I can choose what I choose to see and know that it's coming into being, because we have love and we have law. And for a long time, I'm a big fan of love. Like, I am warm and fuzzy, and that was what I spent years on, is just that practice of love, because it feels good and that's great. And law is how it works. So if I want to know how it works and I want to change my life, I need to know not just what I want, but how it works. And it's the 5-step process that it is simple, but it's about going back to it again and again and again, and remembering how simple it is. Because if I don't follow it, then it doesn't happen. So it's really choosing consciously what it is that I wish to see. Ernest Holmes also said, as you learn to release all of your burdens to the right action of God, you'll find that everything falls into its proper place. You let your problems slip away from you, realizing that a power greater than you are, and a presence that is within you, is ready, willing, and able to guide you in all ways. Then, peace, security, and fulfillment come with ease, and there is a sense of joy and accomplishment. So basically, when I let my problems slip away, when I turn to spirit, when my action is turning to spirit and basically letting God be God, it's amazing what can happen in my life. When I don't try to play and take that place, when I don't try to micromanage the how of things, when I simply go to that beginning place and know, things start to change. So the first step of that is that spirit is. So when we look at affirmative prayer, the first step is recognition. It's recognizing that spirit is. And spirit is those unchangeable attributes. That's what spirit is. It's not about being in that place of, well, it could be this, it could be, it's all of nature. It is beauty itself. It is love. It is wisdom. It is wholeness. It is abundance. Spirit is anything that is unchangeable. So there can't be some light. Light is always there. I don't always see it, but there's always light. The sun always exists. Now, if we're not facing it, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to be warmed by it. But the sun is still there. If I don't plug in my light, it's not going to work. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's that I didn't plug in. So all of the power that spirit is, I am when I connect to that source. And I don't have to go anywhere for that. And that's the gift of it. We know in these teachings, we get to remember simply by going back to spirit that it is all of these things. It is that power, that wisdom, that abundance. It is perfect, whole, and complete. It is that perfect health. It is all that I could want and ever need for a joy-filled life. And when I remember that truth, which is, all of the truth that we're based on, that spirit is that allness, and there is only one of that, then that takes us to that second place. So Ernest Holmes also said, your soul belongs to the universe, and your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. So if I'm an outlet, I am one place where spirit is, and I get to choose to allow it to come and flow through me. And that is basically step 2, is that realization that spirit is, therefore I am. So I unify in that knowing that whatever spirit is, I am that. And it's not some of the time, it is all of the time. Whether or not I'm acknowledging it doesn't make it not so. See, everything that I have and see right now is a result of how I thought in the past. Everything that I choose now will create from this point forward. So what are you thinking about? Where is your mind? Remember that the law is neutral and it is impersonal. So whatever you're thinking about, you're attracting. And it doesn't matter if it's, yes, but I don't want that. You're still thinking about it. You're going to get more of that. So it's being in a place of remembering, spirit is, therefore I am. And then the third step is knowing and declaring, realization. So what am I calling into being? So it's the equivalent of plugging that light into the, or turn the light switch on, or plugging that light in there. It's in that moment deciding that this is what I choose. I choose the light, I choose love, I choose harmony, I choose peace. And I know spirit is that, therefore I am an inlet for that, therefore I am an outlet for that. And I know that this is what I choose. I declare it, and it's not whether or not I'm worthy, because I already know that I am. I was born that way. I'm not sometimes worthy. There's nothing that I can do that can make me less of what I am. I am the beloved of the beloved. I don't know, many of you I'm sure have children, nieces, nephews, pets. How many times have they frustrated us? But you couldn't possibly not love them. Doesn't matter what they do. I don't always love the actions, but I always love them. I can't not love them. And if that's me with an ego, imagine what spirit, that almighty beloved, that just is love, how much I am loved, how much each one of us is loved. So knowing that love, I declare it. I don't have to ask for it. It's when I know I'm worthy of it that I declare. I just choose it. Louise Hay said, every word you speak is an affirmation. The subconscious is always listening. So it's not just what you say, it's what you're thinking about. What are you paying attention to? Because what you're paying attention to is what grows. So in that place of change your thinking, change your life, it really comes down to, what am I paying attention to? What am I allowing spirit to do through and as me? It's remembering who and whose I am and staying out of the story and getting back into the truth. So in that knowing and in that claiming, the next step is I'm thankful. So I am going to the beloved and knowing I am the beloved. I declare what it is that is mine. And I'm grateful because I know the law that is impersonal. It can only do what it does, and it is always creative. It has to come back. It has been declared, it has been made so in that one mind. And in alignment, I'm grateful. I go, I ask, I must receive. That's where the faith comes in. Because we're not going to go out there and we're not going to plant a seed, wait a week, see if it's taken root, digging it up, and think that it's still going to grow. That's where our faith comes in. It's what I know, and I am grateful. And in that faith, there's a relief in that. There is an absolute relief of knowing God's got this. I don't have to fight it. I don't have to figure it out. When I finally understood that, I have to tell you, that was one of the greatest gifts that I received. When I finally understood that spirit's got this. The universe loves grateful people. The more grateful you are, the more you get to be grateful about. It's that simple. And think about how easy that sounds. The universe loves grateful people. The more grateful you are, the more you get to be grateful about. So when you think about it, of course, it's easy. When we're in a good mood, it's easy to be grateful. When things are going great, wonderful. But it doesn't always work that way. That's why these are practices. These are tools for everyday life. This isn't just when you show up on Sunday. This isn't once in a while. These are tools for everyday life. And the goal for me is conscious contact. And that while that sounds like so much, it's not. The more I practice, the more I remember. Anytime I feel anything but good, to go back to my source, because I don't need to feel this way. That's your barometer, is your feelings. How are you feeling? If you're comfortable there, stay there. If you're not, then do something. Because remember, as we said, the universe is expanding. It's always going to be going upward. And we have this divine loving parent within us that governs, guides, and protects us if and when we allow it. But just like with any child, you know, we can teach as much as we want, but that doesn't mean they pay attention. How many times do we not pay attention? And it doesn't mean that we're loved any less. It just means that we get things we may not have wanted. When you plant apples, you get apples. Well, if your thoughts are planting negatives, guess what you get? Negatives. Whether it's an I don't want that or not, what you're focused on is what we're bringing about. So we retrain ourselves, and those emotions are like, it's really like the rumble strip on a highway. When I don't feel good, something's got to change. When I get on that rumble strip, I know I need to move my car over. Well, if I'm sad, if I'm angry, and you know, in this, you know, in our teaching, we say all the time, all is well. And in truth, it is, because spirit's got this, and spirit is all there is. Therefore, it's all good, but it doesn't always feel good. So what do you do when you're in a teaching that tells you all is well and you feel like crap? Whether you're feeling that way physically, or you just had a loss and you're grieving. Oftentimes people spiritually bypass it. All is well, everything's fine. No, sometimes it's okay not to be okay. Know where you are and go to the tools and the people that help you not stay there. Because if you stay there, it gets darker. You never bring in light by being in the darkness. Something has to change. And there are times we all need other people. Yes, we have these tools, but when I'm in that place, if I'm in this dark place, maybe I'm not the one that needs to treat for me to get out of it. Go to a practitioner, call people at your center, call people that can know your truth for you if and when you're feeling stuck, and know that that's part of life. I would love to say live on the mountaintop. I've known some people that just seem to be always happy, and that's great for them. I am Sicilian. I'm very, very emotional and passionate. And I have my highs and lows. I've gone through a lot of things in my life that have caused a lot of grief. And I know personally, when you don't deal with it appropriately, it manifests as something. For me, I had over a dozen tumors in my kidneys for not dealing with my grief of my mother, father, and sister. I ended up with 2 major surgeries and all that went along with it. And as awful as that was, that's why I teach it now. Because in truth, I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen to me. And I know it's where I'm supposed to be. So was it awful? Oh, it was worse than I can tell you. I'm not going to pretend. It was hell. And it put me exactly where I'm supposed to be. I have more peace. I have more understanding. I have more tools. I have different people. I have a different life than I've ever had before, nor would I ever have if it didn't happen. So there will be dark nights. And when that happens, not if, but when that happens, that's where these practices come in. So it's so important to remember that it's not if, it's when, and that it's okay. So we go back to baby steps of what am I grateful for? Am I grateful for the sun outside? Am I grateful for a car that drives? Am I grateful that I have this breath? Am I grateful that I had a bed to sleep in? We have plenty to be grateful for, because gratitude isn't about, happiness is not getting what we think we want, it's wanting what we have. So am I looking at what I have or what I don't have? Because there's plenty of things that I'm grateful for when I'm paying attention. In the last step of treatment, it goes recognition, where it's saying God is, Spirit is, I am, this is what I declare, and I am grateful. And then I let go. And that is the most important part. Not digging the plant back up again and wondering if there's progress there. Not being like I often am with that feeling of, is it there yet? Is it there yet? Is it there yet? When is it coming? You know, like I want to open up the present and then close it again and be excited when you give it to me. I want to know now. There's that little kid in me, that impatient child that probably will always be there. And I want to know, and how do I know it'll be exactly what I want and how I want it to be? And it's not fast enough. I can certainly be that petulant child, and it's okay. We're supposed to have a zest for life. It's supposed to be an exciting, but it's how much I have faith in and allow that law to be the doer. I can exhaust myself trying to do it myself, but it doesn't mean it's the right way. Have you ever tried to put a square peg in a round hole? I've known many people that spent their whole lives that way. I've spent decades, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I can choose to let go and let God and just let it flow, be in the flow. And the last quote I have for you is, not only must we have complete faith in Spirit and its ability to know and to do, but we must have complete confidence in our approach to it. We must not be lukewarm in our conviction. We must know that we know. We must know that we know. Now, what does that mean and what does that look like? It's an unwavering faith that is a life raft. In my life, that's what it's been. At one point, I woke up after my second surgery, and so much happened to put me there. It was a miracle in itself that I was at actually NIH, National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. I had no idea what that was. This was 8 years ago. No idea that they took just anybody, and how I would be. My doctor put in my case and it got accepted, and they did a miraculous surgery on me, and I was in a coma for 4 days afterwards. And when I woke up, I was unable to move. I had nothing from the neck down. I couldn't lift my arms. I couldn't do anything. And I really couldn't feel much of my body. Certainly couldn't stand or walk. And when I finally got that and understood that, because I was on a lot of medication, I said, I know Spirit's going to use this for good. I don't know what it is, but good will come from this. Now, I say that with complete humility, because that was probably the lowest point of my life. And when I say that, I was streaming tears. There was nothing good or exciting or anything in me. But I am so grateful that my faith took me to a place that in that moment, when everything seemed beyond hope and understanding, that I went straight to good will come of this. That's where I went. There was no doubt in my mind. And that's because of these teachings. That wasn't what I was raised. I wasn't just raised with that. It was a knowing and a practice. I had just finished the Practitioner 1 classes. You know, it wasn't a coincidence that it all happened the way that it did. My faith was what carried me through. And yes, I can walk. And yes, I got home for Christmas. And yes, everything has unfolded since, and I sit before you cancer-free in a miracle. With a dozen tumors that most surgeons would have just taken both kidneys, I have 2 healthy kidneys with 80% of each and normal kidney functions. So miracles happen. I didn't figure out how this was going to happen. I just did the next right thing, and I treated and I prayed and I knew. So where is your knowing? When the crap hits the fan and life happens, where do you go? Do you go to oh no, this will never end? Or do you go to, I know God's got this. I know that I am guarded, guided, and and protected. Do I know that? Like, do I really know that? And the more that I practice it, the easier it is to go there. It's just how it works. It's not just what we say, it's not just what we do, it's what we feel that makes all the difference. So it's being in that place and understanding and really allowing spirit to not just carry us, but to be that life raft no matter what. So the affirmation for today is I allow spirit to fill me to overflow, revealing divine truth. And I invite you to say that for yourself as well with me now. I allow spirit to fill me to overflow, revealing divine truth. And when we know that, when we allow ourselves to be in that place of knowing, that's when we change our thinking to change our life. That's when we align our thinking, our desires, our dreams with that spiritual pattern within us that tells us who and whose we are again and again and again. That's when we get to be the change we wish to see in the world. When we let go of the fear, the guilt, the pain, resentment, regret. There is nothing that we've done in the past that is ever going to affect how much spirit loves us. We're born worthy. We don't have to earn it, but we do have to claim it. So are you going to the ocean with a cup to fill? Are you going with a bucket or a barrel? Or are you jumping in and enjoying life? The whole ocean is yours. The amount of that you limit is up to you. You can jump right in. It's yours. You are that wave in this vast ocean made of exactly that stardust. Do you remember it? So that's where it comes down to. That's when we rise up with spirit, is when we remember whose and who we are. You are royalty. You are that I am presence. I know that of each one as I know it of me. And in that knowing, I'd like to, I believe that I can treat at this point, can I end with a prayer, or I'm not quite sure. Is that okay to end with a prayer, or do you have somebody else doing that? I'm good, wonderful. So being in this perfect place of right here and right now where all power is, I am so grateful to be here with each one. So grateful to know that there is light, it is love, that spirit is that. And by that, I mean everything, the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between. That there is nowhere that spirit is not. That wholeness, that absolute joy, perfect wisdom and harmony, abundance, beauty, peace. And I know that that oneness, that spirit is, includes me. I am that I am presence. I am that love and joy. I am life. I know spirit lives, breathes, and has its being as me. And as I know it of me, I know it of each one here this morning, each one that is listening, and each one in the all. I know that love is all there is. And I know and declare that law is for me. And I use it consciously. I claim every aspect of that beauty. I know that it is that divine love that works through me and as me today. I know there are no victims. I claim the strength and the knowing of spirit right here and right now. I declare only good. I jump into the water with joy, joy filled, completely unabandoned. And I let go of anything but that good. I let spirit direct the sails, knowing that there is good and more good awaiting, that the best is yet to come. I declare it, I expect it, and I am so grateful for it. I am so grateful to know truth, to practice truth, and to live in it. So I celebrate the good. And I know as I set it free into the law as the doer, there's joyful expectancy. But there is nowhere spirit is not, and it cannot come back void. So I celebrate it, letting it go, letting God be God today. I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. That was lovely. Just really nice. Sorry, our technology isn't where we would like it to be, but we'll get there really soon. But great reminders for me, anyway, in my moments of frustration. This too shall pass. So now we're going to move on to our offering, and and like I said, this actually is our new computer. So some of the stuff that we'll be doing, placards, like Gina was bringing up stuff, we'll be able to do that too, but not today. So I know that most of you know this offering affirmation by heart anyway. So let's just feel that, and also give great thanks for the abundance as it flows into this center. For those of you that are in the sanctuary, there are baskets by the doors. If you would like to drop something off on your way out, that would be great. And for the rest of you, yeah, you know the ways to get out here. But right now, let's say this affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift. With all my heart and with all my mind, I know that I am saying yes to something I value. With all others present here, we dedicate these gifts to the values and visions we share. And so it is. So we do have a few announcements. So the first one, so it's our typical one. There are ways that we're looking for people that are wanting the center to continue. Actually, we have a whole bunch of them. But some of them we've been pretty gentle, but we're kind of coming down to this. If you want the center to continue, you need to look at how you can contribute to the center, not just financially, but with participation. It's great that you all showed up here today, and I applaud you for that. Makes my day. Hopefully it'll make your day. But then there's just the kind of behind the scene things, and things like the newsletter. Like I said, I'll be doing the newsletter till the first week in September, and then I won't. And so basically what will happen then is if the newsletter is not important and nobody wants to pick it up, it'll just go away. And that's okay, but I think it's a good idea. So think about it. And it really isn't, I would say on a hard week, it takes me an hour to do the newsletter. Most of the time it takes 30 minutes. It's pretty quick. And you do get to look for inspirational stuff, so it's even fun. So think about it. The next one is, I think I'm seeing this kind of as a combination. It's Facebook and YouTube. And what we've been doing is, I have no idea how this one's going to look because there's all kinds of activity was going on. But we're going to go ahead and post it anyway on YouTube. And usually, as you post it on YouTube, there are a couple of steps, but they're really simple. And once you say publish there, it pops up all other social medias, and one of the social medias that comes up is Facebook. And because we have a Facebook page, meaning the center has a Facebook page, you can, just by a click of the button, it then also gets posted over there. And we do get hits in both places, and every week. Both on, it's called engagements in Facebook, and it's called, well, it just shows you a number of views on YouTube. So we want those, because that is another way that we get our message into the world. So we're looking for some people who'd be willing to be helpful with that. If you are interested, please contact me. And at this point, it's like, contact me soon, because it's important. The other thing, I can't remember if we said this last week or not, but we had a little bit of a thing happen here where somebody found some lost keys that went to the church. We don't know who they were. We just started seeing that people were camping in the church. So we've had all the keys changed, and I think most everybody who wants a key has a key. We're going to be trying really hard. So you have to check them out from Gail. And I mean, I know I gave out a couple last week, but mostly it's really talk to Gail. She'll get you a key if you need it. And then going on from there, there's building bridges. That's one of the things that we want to do for our community, is that we are continuing to collect things. But I will tell you, the board, because we've been also donating money to building bridges other than just supplies, and for over a year, is my understanding. And the board talked about it last week at the board meeting, and the decision was made between now and the end of the year that the financial donation will be going to the Mendocino Animal Care Shelter, which is down on Plant Street. And so let's do that. Okay. I also am really hoping that some of you will be able to stay, because we're gonna finish the video, the tape here, in just a couple of minutes. But I would really love if some of you can stay, even for just about 15 minutes after the service. And Gina, if you want to stay, please do, because I'm going to talk about a proposal that we've received from Reverends Tara Steele and Scioto Bell. Thank you. I was like, what's Scioto's last name? Bell. And so I just want you to kind of have the heads up about what might be going on there. There's nothing really dramatic, but they're offering to do a workshop for us to help us get realigned and what is it that we really want to have happen here. So that's it. Next week, the service, I mean, always, we're going to be trying this again, and it'll be better. But if you can come into the center, next week's a good week to do that. The Reverend Clovis Lewis will be here, and I know some of you have Clovis has been here several times as a soloist, but he's also been our speaker during his seminary time. Clovis is now a Universal Unitarian minister. He's really amazing, and so he will be doing both those things. He'll be giving a talk, and he will be our soloist, so you'll get to hear the cello next week. And so that's what's going on. And yes, Larry?
I did approach you last week about hosts.
Oh, yeah. And Larry's just reminding me that he's already volunteering to be one of our hosts when we need such things. Okay? Okay. So I just want to thank you all. There's no closing song, and that's okay. So just sing to yourself like la da 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 da. It's okay. I think we're okay.
Okay, if you want to, I have a Karen Drucker ready to go if you want it.
Okay, Karen Drucker. Let's go, Karen Drucker.
Okay.
Human beings are natural storytellers. The
As soon as
purpose
we
of-
get past that ad.
Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to see another part of me. Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to see another part of me. Take me with you. Take me with you. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Shape and blow. Now I am willing to start a brand new chapter of my heart. Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to make a choice. This new path needs my voice. Take me with you, I'm ready to go. Let the winds of change shape and blow. Now I am willing to let go. I surrender, and I know I am willing to let go. I surrender, and I know I surrender, and I know.
Oh, that's our Karen. Gotta love her. Okay, and so for all the rest of you here in the room and out in the rest of the world, I'm just so thrilled that you came and you joined us today. Know that you are loved, and I'll see you next week. So namaste.